Let's browse Twitter for a bit, or X or whatever it's called. Quake 1996 on Microsoft DOS. Classic. They use those sounds again in Quake 2. Quake 2 is one of my favorite games. I grew up on that. Played it a lot. A transgender flag was prominently displayed at the Schweitzer Mountain yesterday during a children's ski event. The flag was removed after the children went home. Huh. Maybe it was a parent. That doesn't look like a transgender flag. It looks like the typical LGBT flag. You can tell how badly things have degenerated when animation that was lambasted as dumpster tier schlock on its release is now hailed as beautiful and worthy of having a revival. Yeah, no, this even as a kid, the animation was not good. I didn't like it. The movie was okay. I liked the wizard. Um, it had some scenes that I enjoyed, but overall, no, the animation was just not very good. And I don't think it stood the test of time either. I don't understand. This stuff is real. It exists. You can actually buy it. And yet the VR market is almost dead. What happened to the kids in the 90s who dreamed about this possibility? Why do modern kids now go crazy for games where you don't really do anything? Where at most you just swipe up and down or spend their time screaming in stupid games that require no concentration? I don't know about that, but no, VR, this kind of setup is really expensive and it's not worth it, and it's VR still has its problem with people getting nauseous and stuff. Most VR games, when you do movement, it's not smooth like this because it causes disorientation. Um, VR games move mostly by teleporting. Um, and yeah, the VR market, I haven't looked it up recently, but I'll take his word for it that it's not doing too good. There are some games that are fun. VR Chat is probably the most popular. I love VR Chat. You can there's a lot of games you can play in VR Chat. Um, there aren't too many interesting VR games outside of VR Chat.
Never sneak up behind me. Huh?
Mr. Bonder?
Huh?
There
Mr.
we go.
Bonder?
Never sneak up behind me. Stupid bitch. He's perfect.
Oh my. Yeah, this is what it's like. Lions don't live in deserts. Let's see. Where do lions live? In Kenya? These types of lions. Yeah. I've seen lions in deserts. I've seen them on TV. Documentaries and stuff like that. Animal Planet. A 65-inch TV for $400. I need one of those. My cat broke mine. I'm not gonna get one though until I figure out how I can secure it without a cat knocking it over. How does Gen X feel knowing that many of the punk and metal bands they rebelliously listened to proved to be major sellouts to the machine? Yeah. Punk is dead. Or at least that old style of punk. There's still some good punk bands, but they don't rage against the machine. Huh. I'm curious about this. I want to see a man beaten to a bloody pulp with a high heel shoved in his mouth like an apple in the mouth of a pig. Andrea Dworkin. Yep, that's feminism. The end goal of feminist revolution must be the abolition of the nuclear family. Shulamith Firestone, 1970. Yep. This is stuff I've always known about. Like when I was growing up, this is the stuff that I was seeing regarding feminism. The Scum Manifesto, Society for Cutting Up Men. Linda Gordon. The nuclear family must be destroyed, whatever its ultimate meaning. The breakup of families now is an objectively revolutionary process. Yep. For a couple of hours on a beautiful day. Daydream. I dream of you amid the flowers. For a couple of hours. Such a beauty. Do you think trans would record that? Look retarded. Occult Feminism, The Secret History of Women's Liberation, Rachel Wilson. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna there we go. I'm gonna queue that up to add on my private wish list later. Savages.
But it's all right. I'll get another one in London.
London? Is that your village?
Yes. It's a very big village.
What's it like?
Well, it's got streets filled with carriages, bridges over the rivers, and buildings as tall as trees.
I'd like to see those things.
You will.
How?
We're going to build them here. We'll show your people how to use this land properly, how to make the most of it.
Make the most of it?
Yes. We'll build roads and decent houses and...
Our houses are fine.
You think that, only because you don't know any better. There's so much we can teach you.
He's kind of based.
We've improved the lives of savages all over the world.
Savages?
The people of this continent achieved almost complete world domination. Their ingenuity and wisdom echoed across every color of the planet. We are those people, and our continent is called Europe, a civilization that stretches across time. The birthplace of humanity's most splendid inventions and innovations, the cradle of the modern world, Europe.
Now, I am a Luddite. I'm an anarcho-primitivist. I'm not big on civilization, but I can't deny that it's made life more comfortable, less fulfilling, and it's done horrible, irreversible damage to the environment, and humanity might destroy the planet, like, completely and entirely. It's still a possibility. Not through global warming or global cooling or whatever. Not through that. The environment will survive that. Even the worst projections show that global warming isn't going to be this catastrophic end of all life on the planet kind of thing. It will make the warmer areas a little more uncomfortable. But ocean acidification, that can destroy all life on the planet. Not to mention the pollution, the pesticides and herbicides and fertilizers used on farms that run off into the rivers, which empty into the ocean, and that's done horrible damage. The Great Barrier Reef has almost been completely destroyed. It's something like 60-70% bleached. The acidity in the ocean is going up, which will destroy the bottom of the food chain, which will cascade into the destruction of all life on the planet. Most of our oxygen is produced by microbes in the ocean, and if that's destroyed, there's no coming back from that. Forests have been completely destroyed. There's very few natural old growth forests left on the planet, and the lumber industry really wants to go through and kill all of them. I don't know why they're so dead set on destroying old growth forests. I don't know if it's just more profitable or what. The forests they plant are all uniform and ugly and dead. They're called green deserts. Like, the animals don't go to those areas, because there's no food, there's no life, there's nothing there except the trees. Yeah, look that up. Green deserts. Who am I talking to? There's nobody in chat. This isn't going to be clipped for YouTube. That's a good practice, though, I guess. Oh, I could put it on as a YouTube short. Yeah. I'll clip that for a YouTube short. Do I follow Tecton? I don't follow Tecton. I'll follow Tecton. He's all right. Yuck. Okay. This is absolutely insane. This is how we've lost our country. American breaks down the timeline of immigrants coming to the U.S. Ronald Reagan wins in a landslide victory. All but one state goes red, 49 Republican states. Immediately after immigration starts to skyrocket, bringing foreigners into America, a decision was made to rapidly replace American voters. What happens after? Check this out. From 1990 to 2007, an exponential increase because they knew they could never let it happen again, of losing so bad. where almost every single state besides one went for Reagan. The fact speaks for themselves. The facts speak for themselves. Everybody, you cannot deny this. It's not coincidental when this happened. Yeah, Reagan changed the immigration policy, if I remember correctly. It opened up the floodgates. They knew without a shadow of a doubt they had to get more people in here, and they had to buy their votes with taxpayer benefits, SNAP, Medicaid, housing, anything that they could give them. And that's exactly what they did. That's why this is so important. That's why the SAVE Act is so important. And that's why we have to give back. Why we have to give back our... I think he meant take back our country. But, yeah, let's see what this guy has to say.
I want to show you this right here, everybody, because to me, receipts matter. This is the congressional map from 1984. Okay? This is what happened when Reagan just wiped clean Mondale and literally had one. I think this is the greatest win of a Republican in the history of America. Nobody has ever come close to how much Reagan won. You want to know what happened after this election and the prior elections? You want to know why the Democrats love the illegals so much? When you look at the past unauthorization of illegals coming into America, here is a chart of the elections. Unestimated unauthorized population. This is the illegals in the United States. From 1960 to the 1970s, it was 1.2 million. In the 1980s, it jumped up to 2.2 to 3.5 million. Reagan wins in 1984. Wins the next presidential election? Well, 1988. What happens after, check this out, from 1990 to 2007? An exponential increase because they knew they could never let it happen again of losing so bad where almost every single state besides, two, went for Reagan. And look at this, ever since from 1990 to 2007, how do you go from one decade to the next of 2 to 3.5 million to 3.5 to 12.2 million to 10.5 to 11 million to 11 million to 13.4 million? This was Justin Biden's because they know that's how they win. They get their congressional seats, they get their federal funding, they get the NGOs, they get the illegals coming in, they give them amnesty, and that's how they win their elections. It's not coincidence that this happened. Look at this. When after Reagan won as big as he did. So when we show you these receipts of how important it is to the Democrats that illegals are here, the facts speak for themselves, everybody. You cannot deny this. It's not coincidental. When this happened, they knew that without a shadow of a doubt, they had to get more people in here and they had to buy their votes with taxpayer benefits, SNAP, Medicaid, housing, anything that they could give them. And that's exactly what they did. That's why this is so important. That's why the SAVE Act is so important. And that's why we have to give back our country.
He does say give back our country. So here's the thing. Democrats, Republicans, doesn't matter. It's a uniparty. Republicans want a flood of illegals because it helps their donor class. It helps the donors, the large corporations and business owners and whatnot. It helps provide cheap labor. It stagnates wages, and businesses save money. Democrats want the flood of illegals because it means more votes, more seats, and so on and so forth. It's win-win for both parties. And and it's not gonna get fixed. I don't believe it's gonna get fixed. The SAVE Act is great. Will it actually pass? Everything I've seen. Oh wait, we can go check this out. Everything I've seen says no. Yeah, 13% chance according to Polymarket. And then, would it actually accomplish anything? Probably. Well, maybe if it passes. Here in Idaho, we've had similar bills that would block illegals from voting. We have ID laws, which is great, but they're pushing laws to give illegals driver's licenses and stuff, and They're blocking laws that would help with the deportation of illegals. And the people fighting against these laws are the farmers and ranchers and whatnot who rely, and other business owners who rely on illegal labor. And so they tried bills that they make these people get in trouble, they hold them accountable because they're breaking the law by hiring illegals. And, those bills don't pass. None of these laws pass because the people that fund the party are the people that want the illegals. I was just reading about these deer yesterday. They bow. Wait, no, yeah, that was Jacob Jones's video. He was talking about he's had some people on the show, the Cold Ones podcast, and they were talking about this area of Japan, how the deer come up to you and bow, and you can give them crackers. Oh, come on. I think I need to I don't know if this is because I'm streaming and these videos stutter so much. It might be because my OS upgraded the kernel, and I might need to recompile the graphics drivers or go back to an earlier kernel. Oh, come on. Ugh. Let's go on to YouTube. I know YouTube seemed to be working.